Welcome to the secret of the stars.
At the edge of a peaceful and vibrant forest live Mother Rabbit and her 4 baby rabbits, Peter, Cottonball Tail, Mopsy and Flopsy. The sunlight poured through the cracks of the branches and leaves, and it was like a golden carpet in front of their cozy burrow. On this day, as the warm sunlight gently caressed the earth, Peter ate the last carrot in the house and rubbed his round tummy, but still couldn't hide the hunger in his eyes, muttering, "I'm still hungry." That voice carried a bit of petulance and a hint of helplessness. "Me too." Cottonball Tail and Mopsy echoed in unison, their little eyes filled with a desire for food. At this time, Mother Rabbit had not yet returned from her shopping trip to the city. The basket of vegetables she left behind before she went out had long been eaten by several little rabbits, and the empty basket was lying quietly in the corner, as if telling of the wind and clouds just now. Mopsy cocked her head, her little paws gently scratched her ears, and suddenly her eyes lit up and said, "Benjamin has a big vegetable garden. Why don't we go ask him and see if he can give us some vegetables?" This proposal was like a light shining into the hungry world of the bunnies, and hope was suddenly lit up in everyone's eyes. So the 4 little rabbits lined up neatly, like a well-trained team, and hopped towards Benjamin's vegetable garden. Along the way, a gentle breeze blew the wildflowers along the roadside, as if cheering them on. However, when they arrived at Benjamin's garden with great expectations, they were met with a pot of cold water. Benjamin shook his head apologetically and said helplessly, "I'm so sorry. I just finished the last pea." The little rabbits' ears instantly dropped, and their expectations turned into deep disappointment. With their hearts full of disappointment, the bunnies dragged their heavy feet and slowly hopped towards home. Along the way, everyone was silent, but Peter's little head was spinning, seemingly thinking about something. Suddenly, Peter stopped and said excitedly, "I've got an idea. We can go to the farmer's garbage dump. There must be a lot of food there." Cottonball Tail and Mopsy responded immediately with hardly the slightest hesitation, hunger already preventing them from caring much. Flopsy, however, shook her head worriedly, her voice trembling slightly, full of worry. "Mommy will be angry if she knows, and it's too dangerous there. Daddy went there and never came back." However, Mopsy and Cottonball Tail had long been overcome by hunger. They looked at them pitifully. But Mopsy and Cottontail had already been overwhelmed by hunger, and they looked at Flopsy pitifully, with tears in their eyes, and said with a sobbing voice, "But we're really hungry." Looking at their pitiful appearance, Flopsy's heart softened. Peter could not wait to pop towards the door, not forgetting to shout back, "Flopsy, hurry up." Flopsy hesitated for a moment, but finally sighed and followed helplessly. Soon, they arrived at the farmer's garbage dump. The place was a mess, with garbage bags, broken cans, and old boots scattered all over the place, giving off an unpleasant odor. Peter twitched his little nose, sniffed in the air, and said excitedly, "I smell rotten vegetables." Cottonball Tail, on the other hand, pointed to a place not far away and exclaimed, "I see a lot of flies. There must be something to eat there." Sure enough, in a corner of the garbage pile, they spotted a striking splash of green. "Lettuce!" Mopsy exclaimed in surprise. "And peas!" Cottontail cheered along. No longer concerned with hygiene or danger, several of the bunnies rushed over and feasted. Even the ever-cautious Flopsy, driven by hunger, joined in the feeding. Bothering her. "Geez, it's annoying." Flopsy impatiently waved her little paw to drive away the flies. Suddenly, she spotted a discarded paper bag and, in a fit of ingenuity, slipped it over her head. "Now you won't be able to annoy me, and we'll hurry home later," Flopsy thought to herself. Not long after Flopsy had slipped the paper bag on, a rush of footsteps broke the brief silence. She was startled, and before she could react, she heard a small, anxious voice. "You must hide, the farmer is coming." It turned out to be Mrs. Mouse, who came running over in a panic. Flopsy screamed in her mind. Mrs. Dotty Mouse quickly jumped into a nearby jar, while Flopsy hurriedly hid tightly under a paper bag, not daring to breathe. Her little heart was pounding in her chest, as if it were about to burst. The other 3 bunnies were still asleep, unaware of the impending danger. Flopsy was so anxious that she wanted to wake them up, but she was afraid that the noise would attract the farmer. All she could do was get under the paper bag and nervously watch the commotion outside through the cracks, her body trembling slightly with fear. The farmer carried a large bag of grass and walked slowly, humming an unknown tune. He came to the garbage pile, and with a forceful shake, dumped the bag of grass onto the pile. Hey, I see it, tiny brown ears, isn't that a rabbit?" the farmer said excitedly. He bent down and carefully counted 1, 2, 3 little rabbits. "What an unexpected pleasure today." Saying this, the farmer mercilessly grabbed the 3 sleeping bunnies and casually threw them into the bag beside him. "Awesome, I'll have to think about what to do with you guys." A smug smile appeared on the farmer's face. Then, the farmer tied the mouth of the bag tightly with a thick rope and said to himself, "Let's put the lawnmower away first, and then we'll come back and take care of you guys." With that, he left humming a little song. Flopsy couldn't hold back her tears as she watched the farmer's faraway back. She ran to the bag with her heart in her mouth and pulled desperately at the rope with her little paws, crying as she did so, "Help! The farmer will take the bunnies away, and they will never go home again." However, the rope was so thick and tight that Flopsy's little paws could not pull it at all. Just as Flopsy was feeling desperate, the mother rabbit came back from her purchase. She went into the burrow, but saw no sign of the children, and a sense of foreboding sprang up in her heart. When she saw the empty basket in the corner, she understood even more. Unable to rest, the mother rabbit anxiously searched for the children where they might have gone. Soon, the mommy rabbit found Flopsy crying by the garbage. "Baby, what's wrong? What happened?" Mama rabbit asked anxiously. Flopsy cried and told her mom exactly what happened. Mama Rabbit's brow furrowed as she listened, but she quickly calmed down and began to think of ways to rescue her children. In her eyes, and she said softly, "I have a plan." After saying that, the mother rabbit quickly put some rotten vegetables into the bag, then retied the bag and restored it to its original state. It wasn't long before the farmer did return. Full of joy, he picked up the bag, hummed a little song, and headed for home. "Wife, what a lucky day! I caught 3 rabbits. We can have a nice big meal," the farmer shouted as he entered the door. The farmer's wife heard the sound and came out of the house. She opened the bag with great anticipation, but only saw a pile of rotting vegetables and screamed, "These aren't rabbits at all. What are you doing?" The farmer went over to take a look and was also dumbfounded, with an incredulous look on his face. And at this moment, outside the door, the mother rabbit hid with her 4 baby rabbits, looking at the surprised expressions of the farmer and his wife. She couldn't help covering her mouth and snickering. "Wow, Mom, you're so good. You even fooled the farmer," Peter said as he looked at his mom adoringly. Mother Rabbit smiled and touched her children's heads, and said gently, "Children, you can't be so adventurous in the future, okay? Let's go home." "Yes," the little rabbits answered in unison. So the 5 rabbits walked in a neat line, bouncing in the direction of home under the setting sun's afterglow. Behind them was the sky colored red by the evening sun, as if it was a happy ending to this marvelous adventure.
Do you like this story? Follow me. Here is a treasure land of fairy tales. Moreover, there are numerous long-form bedtime fairy tales on the home page, which, like magic, weave sweet dreams for you to listen to.